Today we're taking a first look at something that gives you a lot more coverage than a traditional dash cam. If you've known the video in the past, we did the S1 4K Infinite, and it is in one of my cars. I'll tell you what, it gives you a really good picture. This is the new Vueroid S1 QHD Infinite, and this particular one gives you 3 camera coverage. QHD front, QHD back, and QHD interior. So for those of you who drive Uber or just want video inside the car, this is the one to have. So instead of only seeing what happens in front, this system is designed to give you a much bigger picture of what's happening all around and inside your vehicle. Today we're going to do an open box on this, take a look at everything that comes with it, talk about the 3-camera setup, and get a closer look on how everything in this is designed before we move to a full installation and real-world testing. So welcome back to the channel. For those of you who are new here, this channel is all about automotive DIY, repair, maintenance, diagnostic, tools, and products that can potentially make owning and working on your vehicle a little bit easier. Today we're looking at the Vueroid S1 QHD Infinite dash cam. What immediately makes this system interesting to me is that it's 3 cameras. The traditional one that I have in one of my vehicles is the S1 4K. It is a 2-camera system front back, but this particular one is a 3-camera system. We have the camera watching the front, we have a camera watching the back, and then that third one that's watching the inside of the vehicle. That gives you 3 different views from one dash cam system. For the daily driver, family vehicle, rideshare, work, or even your project car, this camera offers you multiple viewpoints and can potentially give you a much better record of what actually happened during an accident. Alright, so let's open this box up and see what exactly it comes with. I can't show you what's in this one, but it is very, very close to it. A lot of the questions may be before I open this box is, why should I spend that much money on a dash cam system? I can tell you real simple. You're paying anywhere from the cheapest at $25,000 to $100,000 for your vehicle, daily driver. Sometimes it can be more than that on your classic vehicle. And being able to prove an accident or an issue has become harder and harder because it's generally your word against theirs. I can tell you from experience that I've had a family member in an accident. Wasn't their fault, but they couldn't prove it because the driver was older and she was younger, and the driver said, well, no, she blew a red light when she really didn't. She was making a left turn. So this type of system can avoid that issue. Now, I've I've installed the cheap $100 ones in my cars, and usually within 6 months to a year, I'm pitching it in the trash. They overheat, they don't get a good picture, they can constantly want the card formatted, and you just have to go through all kinds of grief with these things. Whereas a good one will maintain exceptional pictures and allow you to prove your issue when it happens. Anyway, let's get into unboxing this. I'll like to take everything out first and lay it on the table. Give me just a minute, and we'll get this opened up for you. This particular scenario, they sent me the memory card too. It's a 256 meg, and it's a high-speed good card. So if you're going to order the dash cam, order the card that goes with it. Then you know there won't be any problems down the road. As always, when I unbox something like this, I like to take out everything first, lay it on the table. And that way I can identify all the components before I start connecting or installing anything. And I would suggest that you do the same thing. Right away, the main component that we're looking for, of course, is the primary front camera. This unit is responsible for recording what is happening in front of the vehicle. And because this is a QHD system, we're expecting a higher level of image detail than you would typically get from a basic entry-level camera. The additional detail can become important when you're trying to see vehicles, road conditions, signs, or other information captured during an incident. An important part of the system, because a lot of situations don't happen directly in front of you, is you could be hit from behind. Something could happen while another vehicle is following you, or an incident could begin behind the vehicle before moving into the view of the front camera. With a dedicated QHD camera, we have another angle recording what is happening. Then we have our interior camera. This gives you a third viewpoint. Depending upon how you use your vehicle, an interior camera could be extremely useful. For rideshare drivers, delivery drivers, company vehicles, or anyone who regularly has passengers, it provides an additional record of what is happening inside your vehicle. We've all seen the videos. This is a good one for rideshare. Even for a normal delivery driver, that third camera can potentially capture information that the front and rear cameras simply don't see. So the big story with this system really is all about coverage: front, rear, and interior. These three QHD camera views are a working part of one full system. So let's take a closer look at the hardware itself. The first thing I always look at with a dash camera is the overall size and mounting design. You want something that can be positioned where it has clear view on the road without becoming a major obstruction to the driver. Placement is going to be important when we install. We need a good view through the windshield, and we also need to make sure we're not placing the camera somewhere that it interferes with your normal visibility. A rear camera will obviously need to be positioned where it has a clear view out of the back. The exact installation can vary depending upon what you're putting this in. A sedan is going to be different than a pickup truck. An SUV is going to be different from a hatchback. So when we do the installation, cable routing and camera placement are going to be a major part of the process. The interior camera is also going to require some thought. We want to position it so we get useful cabin coverage without creating an unnecessary distraction. The one reason I like doing an unboxing video before the full installation, you get a chance to understand the system and think about the installation before you start pulling trim panels and routing wires and all that kind of stuff. You can kind of lay it out and go, okay, I understand how this is going to work and what I've got to go with it, so I know how to place my cameras in the car before I start. So let's talk about why I think three-camera system is interesting. Most people think of a dash cam as something that records an accident in front of the vehicle, and that's definitely one of the primary reasons people buy these. But an incident doesn't always happen directly in front of you. Imagine you're stopped at a traffic light and someone hits you from the back. A front camera might record the movement of your vehicle after the impact, but the rear camera would actually capture the vehicle that hit you. Now, imagine an incident where there's a disagreement over what happened inside the vehicle. This is where an interior camera comes in and gives you a whole nother perspective. The advantage of three cameras is that you're not relying on one viewpoint to tell the whole story. You've got the front, you've got the rear, and you've got the interior. I'm not going to rush through the installation in this video because I want to do that on its own detailed process and show you how to do it in a vehicle with a hatchback. When I install something like this, I want the wiring to look clean. I don't want cables hanging down across the windshield. I don't even want wires interfering with the driver. And I definitely don't want to start pushing wires behind trim and without paying attention to things like airbags and other components that may be behind those panels. We'll look at the best location for a front camera. We'll route the wiring, which is this one. That's power. And this one's also power. So you've got two different installations. This is the multiple power. We'll look at the best location for the front camera. We'll look at routing the wire, this one or this one. This is permanent. This is temporary. That uses a cigarette plug. We'll determine the best rear camera position. We'll mount the interior camera. Then we'll go through the setup and see what kind of video we actually get from all three cameras. The real test for me is always going to be the footage. I know when I installed the other Vueroid camera, within minutes of me driving down the road, someone almost hit me and I caught it on video. So definitely a reason to have is going to be that footage. How does the front camera look when you're driving normal? How much detail can we see? How does the rear camera perform? What kind of view do we get from the interior camera, and how usable is the footage when you actually need to review? So first impressions on this is based strictly on this first look. The features that stands out to me is obviously the three QHD cameras. Having QHD coverage at the front, rear, and interior gives this system an interesting position for someone who wants more complete vehicle cover. And that's why we're going to install it and actually use it. I want you to see how easy the installation is. I want you to see how cleanly we can route everything. And most importantly, I want to see what the actual recorded video looks like. Because when you buy a dash cam, that footage is what ultimately matters. So just to show you what is included in the kit, now again I added the memory cards. I always do on an upper end system like this. Again, cost should never be an issue on these. So here's what comes with the system. You've got your 3 cameras. You've got a lens that'll cut the glare. You've got 2 different power sources. You can either go with the cigarette lighter style or hardwired into the vehicle. I'm going to hardwire this one in because it offers another level of protection when the car is parked. This system also has the ability to pay attention to the battery, monitor power, and all that kind of fun stuff. Over here you've got your taps for the fuse block for the installation of this. So these two go together. You've got all different kinds of plug-ins for the type of fuses you have, and it just simply plugs in place and then offers 2 positions for your regular fuse that was in there, plus it comes with your extra long back camera wiring. It comes with USB, and that's to download your video and what have you. You can also pull it from wireless and all that. And then you've got your installation tool that comes with some clips and adhesive, depending upon how you want to mount the system. So it comes with pretty much everything you need to put the camera into the vehicle. A couple of the features that you'll notice, like I said, is these will rotate, so depending upon the angle, you can adjust the camera so that it can go by whatever angle you have. Same with the front one. It too can adjust down or up. Also, remember, right? Remember how to do it. This can be mounted on the windshield. Your power connections are here. So if you have to pull your memory card or something off of the camera, it's easy enough to unhook it from the windshield and take it in and download whatever you have to. Or if you just want it off the windshield for a minute, this allows you to do that. So this is our first look at unboxing of the Vueroid S1 QHD Infinite 3-camera dash. So this is our first look at unboxing the Vueroid S1 QHD camera system. Like I said, it's a 3-camera system. We've got QHD recording coverage in front, in the back, and in the interior of the vehicle. And then the next step is going to be putting the system in the vehicle, setting everything up, and putting all 3 of these cameras to the test. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I appreciate everyone.